we go, Flashbackers. This is New Release Wednesday here at Flashback Comics for July 24th, 2013. I am Patrick Michael Strange, but who cares about me? You want to know what the new comic books are. Let's do it. Here we go. We have New Avengers, number 8. Rocketeer and Spirit, number 1. G.I. Joe Cobra Files, number 4. Arrow, number 9. Lazarus, number 2. Constantine, number 5. Aquaman, number 22. What If AVX, number 3. Michael Turner's Fathom, number 1. And we have an alternate cover to the all-new Fathom as well. Superior Spider-Man, number 14. Wolverine and the X-Men, number 33. Grim Fairy Tales Wounded Warrior Special. We have we have 4 great covers for the Wounded Warrior Special. Shout out to our Army, Navy, U.S. Marines, Coast Guard, all of our servicemen out there doing the job. Uncanny, number 2 from Dynamite. Star Trek, number 23. Secret, number 2. Talon, number 10. Doctor Who, number 11. Captain America, number 9. The Dream Merchant, number 3. Superman Unchained Director's Cut, number 1. Stitched, number 15. Superman, number 22. Doomsday Point 1, number 3. Jonah Hex, number 22. Warlord of Mars, number 27. Young Avengers, number 8. Love that cover, that's pretty sweet. Justice League Dark, number 22. Scarlet Spider, number 19. Wolverine, number 7. Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, number 3. Clone, number 9. Thumbprint, number 2. Batman, The Dark Knight, number 22. Army of Darkness vs. Hackslash, number 1. And we have 3 great variant covers for that. Check that out. Pretty sweet. Danger Girl Trinity, number 4. Moving on. We have some great trades here to go along before we get to the new books. We have a great new Nightwing Volume 2 trade, Night of the Owls. We have Batman Volume 1, The Court of Owls. Moving on to Ferris, The Hidden Kingdom. To Infinity Incoming from Marvel. Now back to the new titles. We have Catwoman, number 22. Flash, number 22. Wild Blue Yonder, number 2. David LaFamme's Ferals, number 16. Hawkeye Annual, number 1. Gambit, number 15. Star Wars Legacy, number 5. Ultimate Comics X-Men, number 29. The Crow Curare, number 2. Harbinger, number 14 from Valiant. The Green Team Teen Trillionaires, number 3. Dark Shadows, Year 1, number 4. The Bounce, number 3, and we have 2 great variant covers for that. Check that out. Robin Hood, Wanted, number 3, and we have 3 great variant covers for Robin Hood Wanted. Moving on to Uncanny Avengers, number 10. Green Hornet, number 4. Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 22. Teen Titans, number 22. Journey into Mystery, number 654. Witchblade, number 168, and we have 2 great variant covers for Witchblade. Check it out. The Massive, number 2. Judge Dredd, number 9. Actually, going back to The Massive, it's issue number 14, but part 2 of 3 of the Americana storyline. Let me get that right. Judge Dredd, number 9. Larfleeze, number 2. Damsels Mermaids, number 3. Grim Fairy Tales Hunters The Shadowlands, number 3, and we have 2 great variant covers for that. Check that out. Batman Superman, number 2. Bloodshot, number 13. Superior Spider-Man Team Up, number 1. And last but not least, Hunger from Marvel, issue number 1. And a guy who has the biggest hunger in comics, and he's the man here at Flashback. I'm going to bring in my man. His name is Troy David Phillips. What's going on, Troy?
Mr.
Turn around, here he
Strange,
is.
how are you? How are you? How have things
Doing
been?
well, man. Doing well. Keeping busy. We just had San Diego Comic-Con with some great announcements coming out of that. But we'll get to that. Let's get to our picks of the week, my brother.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, I want to start everybody off with, first, you see me rocking my Avengers love? And that's because my first pick of this week is the Prelude to Infinity, New Avengers. Let me get my fingers out of the way there.
Number 8.
Yes, indeed. All right, now, what we have here is we have Jonathan Hickman. He's a great writer. We know all about him. Mike Deodato is the artist, and he's also incredible. Let me show you a little bit about what these gentlemen are capable of when they put their spirits together. Okay? I'm sorry, a little more slowly, just so you can absorb all the details.
Yeah, but make sure you're not drinking the spirits. You want to enjoy this. You don't want to be a little bit too loose.
Well, you know. Yeah, I got to put it down before I start reading it. We're bringing the Inhumans in on this one.
Yes.
Classic Jack Kirby characters from the old Fantastic Four, right on through, Kree Skrull War. They had their own book. The New Avengers is a title that I've been behind 100%. I love the Avengers. I love all the Avenger titles. So this is one that if you're tuned in with what's going on after the end of the Age of Ultron, we're moving through Thanos Rising, we're getting ready for Infinity. If you're on board for that, you do not want to snooze on the Avenger titles.
Check it out.
Now, I'm going to jump right here to DC's Arrow, number 9. Now, if you're a fan of the Green Arrow, like I am, I'm going to strenuously recommend that you watch this show. The show is incredible on the CW.
Yes.
And they don't do an on-demand, so you got to tune in week by week. Or you'll miss it. You'll end up buying the DVD box set, and what's that going to cost you?
I know, but that's what I'm in that camp. I haven't been catching them. I want to check it out, though. It looks great.
Well, here's why you should be reading this book.
Tell us.
Okay, one, you're going to get art by a classic artist, Mike Grell, and he's just amazing.
Oh yeah, Mike Grell is the man.
He loves Green Arrow.
He has a history with the
He does.
Green Arrow.
He does. You remember the Longbow Hunters, don't you?
He's one of the first creators I ever met, and he was a really nice guy.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that about him. Here's why you want to read these. This does not adapt the TV show. What it does is it creates bridges in between episodes.
Okay.
These are things that happen off scene, off camera, in between. So when you want to know a little bit more, there's a little more characterization on some of the characters. There's a little more expansion on some of the subplotting. It's really good. If you're already on the show, you want to read this because it will give you more. If you're coming into the show new, this will help expand on the least you need to know for that.
Excellent.
So
I got to ask you a question because I haven't been catching out. I know that they did Deathstroke within the show.
They have adapted the character Deathstroke for the show. He's not exactly like he is in the comics, but he's actually pretty impressive.
Cool.
They've also adapted Deadshot. That's also been pretty
That
impressive.
was my question. Who else besides Deathstroke have they done? So they've done Deadshot.
The Huntress.
Oh, really?
Count Vertigo.
Sweet.
Yeah, they've tapped into the Green Arrow history and continuity.
Awesome.
Kind of changed it for a modern audience with a modern sensibility.
Gotcha.
It's a lot like Smallville.
Yeah.
It's familiar, it tastes good, but it's not exactly what you've been used to.
Okay.
So, yes, Arrow, I recommend it strenuously. I love that word, strenuously. I don't get to use it in a sentence often enough.
You might use it. We might have to turn this into a drinking game this episode. Let's see how many times you use it. When he says strenuously, throw it back.
Now, you know what? Normally, I would be doing a Dynamite book.
All right.
Dynamite has been giving me book after book after book that's just incredible.
Great stuff.
But I'm going to lay off on my Dynamite love for just this week because I want to talk to you people about Rocketeer and the Spirit. Okay? Now, the Spirit, classic Will Eisner character. He's been with us since the Golden Age. He's amazing. Will Eisner was an incredible artist with an amazing sense of cinematic storytelling.
Yes.
If you've seen the movie with Gabriel Byrne and Samuel L. Jackson, no, it wasn't Gabriel Byrne, it was Gabriel Macht.
Yes.
And Samuel L. Jackson and Scarlett Johansson
Yes.
and company, and the movie was all right.
It was visually good, but the story was whack. I gotta say that.
The
I
character
wouldn't recommend Spirit the movie in regards to Spirit the comic book.
No,
Spirit the comic book's 1,000 times better.
And that's what I'm going to tell you.
Great visuals, but
the
they fail on
comic
story.
is infinitely superior to the film.
Yes.
This comic,
Especially
however,
the Rocketeer movie.
Well,
That's my introduction to Rocketeer. I didn't really know Rocketeer the comic book until the movie, and I loved it. That's a classic movie to me.
see, I was a little sharper than that. I jumped right in.
I want that helmet.
on
That
Dave
fin
Stevens with the
helmet.
Rocketeer.
Sweet.
Now, see, poor Dave Stevens, rest in peace.
Yes.
Lost his battle with hairy cell leukemia.
Yes.
And it was tragic. But What we have is the two characters in the spirit of the pulp era.
Yeah.
Not actually a
That's
pulp
pretty
era
cool.
character, but in that spirit, the Rocketeer, the spirit, IDW brings it together. They bring it together very sweetly.
It looks great and written by Mark Wade. That's
You can't
go
say
wrong
enough
with
about that. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
What do you got for me today?
All right, again, the picks that are going to top his as always. Let's do it.
He thinks that.
My pick, starting up from Marvel Comics, I have Superior Spider-Man Team Up #1 to go rock on with this whole Superior month that we have going on with Spider-Man. You had Superior Carnage that came out last week.
And
Now we have
Superior Foes.
Superior Foes. Oh, that's true. Superior Foes, and Superior Spider-Man has been rocking
On
a lot of
fire.
sales. It's been
On
on fire.
fire.
I don't understand why. I haven't been reading it too much.
Well, you should do that.
Because I wasn't a fan of the transition to now Doc Ock and that whole thing. But I understand there's like this whole spirit thing. That we'll save that for the forum boards. As I feel a certain way about that. But
There
I'm
will
gonna
be a
recommend it
spotlight.
because it's got me intrigued because they're doing something fresh, and that's what I will say about it. I have my sort of negative feelings towards what they've done, but it's something fresh that we haven't seen in a while, and they've been writing Spider-Man stories for forever. So to the creative teams, kudos to you for doing something a little bit bold, changing up stuff a little bit. So with that being said, Superior Spider-Man Team Up #1. If you all are fans of Ultimate Marvel Team Up, there's been a lot of great Spider-Man Team Up titles. This one looks pretty sweet, and it's involving the new Superior Spider-Man character. And just look at that. The artwork looks fantastic. I'm ready to check it out.
What, Patrick?
And the new costume is pretty sweet. I like the black on red, or the red on black. I'm digging the new costume. It's
So
pretty
that
dope.
looks like the Avengers.
The Avengers
that-
are making
that-
an appearance.
That looks like my choice of team here is enhancing the glory of your book.
Let's keep it moving with this guy. Valiant Entertainment. Y'all know I love Valiant. Y'all, I'm not paid by Valiant, but they're my guys. If you haven't been picking up Bloodshot, I can't recommend Bloodshot enough. They're spinning out of the Harbinger Wars storyline. Here's issue number 13. I love this cover. It's pretty dope. But pretty soon he's going to be leading the Hard Corps. If you're a fan of the classic Valiant stuff, this title is going to transition. I'm excited about that, but Bloodshot is an awesome character. If you haven't read Bloodshot before, take a little bit of Wolverine with that regenerative powers, a little bit of Punisher, a little bit of Captain America, and this is your super soldier in Bloodshot. He's awesome. I can't say enough about him. He could mop the floor with Cap and Wolverine and Punisher. I will say that. And I know all y'all Marvel fans are like, what? When you read it, you'll understand why.
Well,
That's
see,
it.
I
That's it.
got to jump on this because
Bloodshot will take those guys out.
I have some
Think
good
about
things
it.
to say.
Go ahead.
One, I have to say this: Dwayne Swarzynski. Okay,
Writer of
read his
X,
books, you understand.
Writer of Godzilla.
Dwayne Swarzynski.
He's a
and
man.
then Barry Kitson. I go
Kitson.
all the way back to Legion '89. Barry
Yes,
Kitson,
sir.
writer, artist, amazing, great character, great company with a great spirit. So all the pieces add up to a fantastic equation.
There's a reason why they were the best publisher last year. Great stories, great art, great teams. When you meet them in person, they're like the coolest company in the world. Shout out to my guys over there. All right, moving on. I'm going to go to Hunger from Marvel. If you've been reading the Age of Ultron storyline, the Age of Ultron books, this winds up the aftermath, as it says on the bottom, Age of Ultron aftermath, coming out of Age of Ultron. We're getting some pretty sweet Galactus up in this piece with Hunger. We all know he is the world devourer, so there's your Hunger.
Back up. See,
Hey, we don't want to give him too much. We don't want to give him too much.
I know we don't want to give him too much, but
Just
we want to give him. We want to give him a little something.
Look at that world devastation going on. Chitauri, that is in the mix. There's some cool stuff that happens at the end of this that I don't want to give away.
Yeah, don't spoil.
You gotta check it out. I'm not gonna spoil it. This man loves to spoil things, like his eggs and milk.
Oh, but
Just
you
ask
know
the
what?
wife. But
But see, and I got to say this now. Again, Prelude to Infinity, Age of Ultron. It's all dovetailing
Yes.
together. What do we have going on? Prelude to Infinity, we have the Inhumans,
Yes,
classic
sir.
Kirby characters. What do we got here? Galactus, signature Kirby character.
there's a lot of galactic stuff going on.
The spirit of Jack Kirby permeates comics
Yes,
as
sir.
well it should.
It's permeating. Check it out. I got some stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna save it for after my last pick. But check out Hunger if you've been checking out the Age of Ultron storyline. Last but not least, my final pick of the week: Batman Superman #2. If you picked up Batman Superman #1, you'll understand why. It's just awesome stuff. It's two great characters, and in this particular issue, we have the amazing Jay Lee on pencils. I think he did the first. Yeah, he did the first issue too.
Yeah.
But this one just looks 1,000. I had to thumb through this as soon as this one came in. Greg Pak on the writing, who's a very talented writer. You know him as well.
Yes.
But this, I don't want to give away too much. Let's just keep it on this page.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most beautiful books I've seen in a while. Jay Lee put his foot in it. If to take an old term,
Damn.
you know what I'm saying? If y'all know what I'm talking about, all my old heads, he put his foot in this book. This is one of the most beautiful books I've seen in a while. Just some great Jay Lee art. It's a very, as a creator, it's very inspiring. You want to check it out. I don't want to give away too much. Let's just say if you know what the Trinity is in DC, you're going to get a little bit of that at the end. But
Right.
one of the most beautiful books out there. But so to lead into that, let's talk a little bit about Comic-Con that happened this past weekend.
Right. Because
Batman, Superman,
they dropped a
the
bombshell.
biggest announcement, the bombshell.
That was huge.
We saw Man of Steel. We got the Man of Steel this past year, not too long ago. With the next installment of the Man of Steel, we're gonna have a Batman appearance in the next Superman movie. So
Well,
we're gonna bring the two together.
I feel like that's something that DC has needed to do for a very long time.
Yes,
To make
sir.
they need to set that platform where their characters can interact with each other. Batman and Superman, it's the world's finest duo ever since the 40s.
Exactly.
We've been really wanting to see this.
Finally.
And ever since the WB animated, and I think that was Superman, Batman,
And it was some
Luthor
good
the
stuff.
Joker.
If you haven't been checking those
It
out,
was
check out
amazing.
those
It was
anime
amazing.
episodes.
So yeah, this is something that has needed to happen for a very long time. I think the fans have always wanted it.
Yes,
I
sir.
think finally Time Warner and DC have realized this is what the fans want. So hopefully they do it right. Hopefully
Yeah.
they give it the love. And if not, we can unleash the wrath of the Black Lanterns on them.
See, he's pulling out the rings again. He still didn't give me my white ring yet. Check that out. We got the Black Lantern rings in the shop. All you Green Lantern, Black Lantern fans, come check us out. We got these for you. So to go along with, I'm super excited about it. Batman, Superman. And we were talking a little bit about this earlier. While I am super excited about it, please, DC, give us Flash, give us Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
You know, we want to see that. You know, we're super excited, but we've gotten a lot of Batman movies. We've gotten a lot of Superman movies.
And
give us
there-
some other characters. There
you
are a lot
have-
of other great characters.
The truth is, DC Comics, as an institution, when there were national periodicals and All-American,
Yes,
and right
sir.
on down the line, DC Comics has some amazing characters and
Such a
amazing
great amount of
creative
characters.
talent. You know, they have so much going on. Greg
Yes.
Pak and Jeff Johns, and the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
The list goes on. No disrespect to anyone whose name I didn't get in there
Yes,
in 10
sir.
seconds. But it's time for DC to give us a Flash that really moves, a Wonder Woman that we can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Give us some Power Girl. Give us some Mr. Terrific. Give me some Hawkman. I want to see that, muscular ripped dude with the wings and the mace. I want to see that.
That would be tight.
I'd like to see the Green Lantern again, and maybe this time a better effort.
I go back to Flash Gordon when you talk about Hawkman, because that was like the closest to a Hawkman.
That was as close as it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
got. That was
yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, Brian Blessed, God love him.
But some good stuff. Speaking on that, one of the big things in regards to that whole announcement and why it's going to take a little while before us to get to it, they precluded. Well, Dark Knight Rises was the last Christian Bale stuff.
Right.
Apparently, they're holding back because they want to try and get Bale back. If we don't get Bale back, which I gotta say, I don't mind if we don't get Bale. To me, he was all right. He wasn't Batman to me. He did a fine job. To me, he visually wasn't Bruce Wayne. There's a whole story. I'll tell you about that later.
Oh, okay.
To go along with that, who would you cast? That's my question. One of the rumors I heard thrown out there was Mad Men's John Hamm. I could see that. What do
You
think
know,
about that?
I probably could too, but I would be willing, to roll the dice like with Christopher Reeve back in the day with Superman the movie in 1978. I'd be willing to roll the dice on a guy that we hadn't heard of before. I'm willing to get a guy in there who has no preconceived notions, who loves and respects the character.
I'm down with that.
And, follows his direction. He wants to make his mark, and then this could be where he makes that mark.
But please keep Henry Cavill.
Well,
He was great in Man
yeah,
of Steel.
yeah, he
I think
was.
we got our Superman now. We had to throw Brandon Routh out there. Shout out Brandon Routh. Hey,
Yeah, you know what? He was not what was wrong with that movie. No, he was not, and you know it.
All right, we'll move past that one. But let's hear if you guys are following us on Facebook. Let us know who you think. Throw them on the comments right below this. Let us know who you all think should be the next Batman.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Other announcements out of Comic-Con. Avengers. We were thinking we were going to have Thanos in
Thanos,
this
yeah,
in
so
the
they
second
threw me
one,
a
but they
curveball.
threw us a curveball and it's going to be Age of Ultron is the next Avengers 2. It's Avengers Age of Ultron. So, what's up with that? That kind of like blew a lot of fanboys' minds there.
I'm not really sure what's going on here, and without the presence of Hank Pym, I'm not really sure what kind of Ultron we're going to get.
Yeah.
But as I see in the comics, we're talking Infinity and Age of Ultron and the aftermath of Age of Ultron, and Galactus, Inhumans, a little more cosmic this, that, and the other. So maybe there's a way to blend it all together that we just haven't seen yet. They throw us a curveball, they're keeping us guessing, they're keeping us off balance, but let's see what actually happens. They haven't disappointed us yet. They've been keeping it strong, and my confidence is there. I'm just, like I said, I'm off my balance point.
Yeah,
here,
they threw you off. They threw a lot of us. It was a curveball was the correct analogy. I'm curious there, but I'm excited because Ultron is an awesome villain.
Well, yes.
So I'm excited that one of the other announcements that happened, or what they did, they had the Guardians of the Galaxy people up there. They also showed some of the props. Check it out online.
Right.
I might add it to our little Facebook page. Pretty sweet. We saw some production art. One of the characters, or actors that they brought onto the Guardians cast when they were bringing them up there was, I forgot the female's name, but she was a member of the Doctor Who cast. She is cast as Nebula, who, if you're familiar with Nebula, was one of the people that stole Thanos' some of the gems.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some Thanos elements. We saw Thanos at the end of the first Avengers. So I'm thinking what they're going to do is they're going to throw some curveballs, which they're doing.
Yes.
Because they don't want to be predictable.
Right.
We're going to get some of that galactic. We might see a little bit of Thanos within Guardians, is what I'm thinking. Especially the fact that they have Nebula in it.
Yeah.
And we'll maybe see a little bit in Avengers, but we're going to get Ultron, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then probably they're going to keep Thanos for Avengers 3. Which is perfectly fine. But
dovetail it together.
We got something going on there. It's a little bit crazy.
Okay, Marvel, you're leading the way. Don't stumble.
Don't stumble.
Don't stumble.
DC, they pulled out the big guns with World's Finest.
Yeah, so you see, they're running to catch up. You're in the lead right now, but just because you're number one doesn't mean you shouldn't keep trying.
Yep. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you saw? Any other announcements that you?
I could go on at great length, but we are going to actually be putting some big announcements up on the Facebook page in regards to writer Kyle Higgins. But I don't want to get too much into that until I have some more solid details. That there is going to be some news coming out of that, though. We've been working on the shop here. I've been dropping stuff in the back issue stock for people. I'm going to get these new books up on the shelf. I'm going to get these subscriptions pulled. I'm going to be ready, people. It should be a good weekend. Come see us here at Flashback.
All right, I think that's it. I think we're ready to hit the books and get to moving.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you for checking us out. As always,
you follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
You like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook.
And you subscribe to us on YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. This is Flashback Comics. I am Patrick Michael Strange.
Troy David Phillips.
We're out of here.
Run, you go.